And hello everybody, Jron here, and today on How Not to Souls, we are looking at a strength, intelligence, and faith build. Or I call it a Dark Paladin build. A very, very powerful, potent build for PvE and PvP. It's a little slow at times with the lumbering weapons we have, but overall when you make contact you'll be doing a lot of damage, and it's kind of awesome. Now let's take a look at our stats. At level 195, we got a 30 vigor and 30 intelligence for both medium pools of each. I say you can go probably a little more endurance, just because your weapons take up so much stamina every time you swing them, because they're so heavy. But I think 30 was also a fair amount of health, maybe a little more. You always have rings for that. 18 vitality, so we can wear the juicy armor, or not the juicy armor, but decent armor. 30 attunement for a medium amount of spell slots. We're not really casting that many spells. Like, we just need some weapon buffs. And being a hybrid, intelligence and faith, you do have access to miracles, sorceries, and hexes. So essentially you can do them all. I actually did them all. Worked out really well, but usually the bread and butter is the dark magic. 40 strength for our weapons, because they're just strength weapons, and 40 does decent damage. Adds decent damage to your weapons. 12 dex to meet requirements. 8 adaptability, where I think you could add more adaptability to this if you take away just 10 points out of intelligence and or faith, just because I feel that intelligence and faith being 40 is good for damage sake. I think it took away from a lot from the defense on this, where you could focus more on endurance or adaptability to get the better rolls. But the damage output was pretty damn good on this, so I can't really complain on that aspect. And it still worked. As long as your roll timings are fine, that's pretty good. Yeah, and then, like I said, 40 for intelligence and faith, just so we can do decent to really good damage with our hexes and our dark weapons. Now let's take a look what we're working with weapon-wise. So the bread and butter of this was a dark greatsword, the dark crypt black sword, which I had to take it out every now and then just because it was too slow. I mean, it did a butt ton of damage, and this kind of looks worse as is because the stats go down, but we're doing a buttload of dark damage and not having a mediocre amount of physical, but it worked out for us. I think that was the most powerful weapon I had, but this was probably the most useful. And then also a secondary weapon I also used was my Fire Great Club, because pyromancy scale with faith and intelligence, and it's real fun just to have a fire weapon. Fire is awesome in this game, as with actually all the weapons. I'll say every magic type in this game is pretty awesome. And I also threw in Magic's Y-handers, so if there's enemies that are resistant to dark, but not magic, so had that on there. And we had a little dabbles of the Sacred Chime Hammer, which I thought was good, but it didn't get much use considering I had these two. So our catalysts, we had the Dark Sunset Staff, which is, well, what else would you use? It's pretty awesome. Then Catheus Chime, which I wanted to check out, and it does actually output decent damage with your miracle-based hexes. But I normally use the Black Witch's Staff just because you get the variety of all hexes all in one, because you can cast both sorceries and hexes, or sorceries and miracles. And you can also cast literally all sorceries and miracles with it. Whereas this bad boy, it was just limited to hexes, which is fine. But say if we wanted to have Crystal Soul Spear, or utilize Sunlight Spear, this would be the catalyst for that. I think this would be better for PvP sakes, or if you want to do have the weapon of every flavor at your disposal. And I did that for a little while. I had the lightning buff, I had magic buff, I had the dark buff, I had the fire buff all in once, and which was a cool variety to have. but I also can't carry 4 different weapons, getting the maximum benefit off of those. So I just kind of stuck with those and having my pyromancy flame on there just for my fun flame weapon. Yeah, that's about it. We didn't really wield any shields or anything. Our armor is the Forlorn set, which I thought looked great with what we're doing, but for the majority of the playthrough we had Lydia White with this, the gloves, and I think we had, we also had black leather boots for a long time, because I thought that looked pretty slamming together until we were able to rock our Forlorn set, which I'm happy we have. We look pretty awesome with it. And then for our rings, Dark Clutch ring, got the life ring +3. And I was switching not the Royal Soldier's ring +2 out, but the 3rd dragon ring out, depending on the weapon that I had, with, I forgot, not the Southern Ritual Band if I wanted more spell slots. Oh god. Sometimes the Prisoner's Chain, like gain surprises, and there was something else I was using. I'm sorry. Oh, Ring of Blades +1 as well. I'd switch that, the 3rd dragon ring out for one of those if I wasn't wielding the Crypt Sword. More or less just when I had the Great Sword of the club. That was pretty good. Your consumables are your consumables. As long as you have your Estus, Aged Feather, or Homeward Bones on there, and some life gems. Life gems are always crucial. Always a big fan of spell replenishments, things like that. If you need them, pretty good situation. Now for the spells we used. So the bread and butter was Dark Weapon, which was, because we wanted to double cast it, I was going to do the, just because it adds that much more damage to our Dark Infused weapon. That was a big portion of what we were using. Dark Greatsword, which I didn't get until later on. You don't get until Shulva anyway. And it also has a 50 on intelligence, and I just use Simpleton Spices to bring it down to 36. I meant to do 40, but 36. Recollection, this is a rotating slot. I was just using that, doing PvP. It's good to offset PvP. Yeah, it's good to offset people who think you're going to cast Dark Orb. You're just like, and then you have this thing just shoot out these magic orbs at it. And Great Resonant Soul, because it does a buttload of damage. As long as you have souls, you can do a lot of damage with this. I wouldn't say it's like a one-shot. It can be, depending on who you're fighting. But it's going to take away like half of someone's life easily. And yeah, that's about that, I think, for that. Really good, really fun build. Super potent. Like I said, the weapons eat up your stamina, so you only get a few swings. But other than that, when you make contact, you're just doing a buttload of damage. Like, for real though, a buttload of damage. Like, 826 is the base damage on my Dark Black Crypt Sword. And it's amazing. It doesn't show the buff. I've looked many times. It doesn't show the buff damage. Not like Dark Souls 3. But, yeah, really good, really fun build. I'd say if you're going to do it, focus more on getting your Faith and Intelligence to 30 so you can have better rolls and better stamina. But if you did what I did, and it's fine, it's powerful, it's strong, just make sure you have the right rings equipped. That's basically what I did. I had the right rings equipped. Had a great time. Real great time. So I hope you enjoy the PvE and PvP footage. And I'll catch you later. Peace.